All right. Well, I think everybody knows me, but for the purpose of the recording, I am Tim Hollinden, eXp Realty. A little bit about me quickly. I'll be very brief on this, I promise. I've been in the business 20 years. I started out at an ERA franchise. I then went to Remax. Didn't like my broker there, so I bought my own Remax franchise, called it Remax Champions in the Louisville, Kentucky, and Southern Indiana market. I still run a team in Louisville called the Hollinden team. We're a sales team that on a typical year would do $40 to $50 million a year in transaction volume. It's been a little off last year due to the unavailability of inventory for our buyers. I am a 3-time Icon Award winner with eXp. We'll get into more about what that means here in just a bit. So moving right along, what we're going to cover today is who eXp is, what our business model looks like, eXp World, that is our cloud office. We are a virtual real estate company, no brick and mortar, unless the real estate commission in a particular state requires it. Then, of course, we comply with the law in those states. But basically, we're a brick and mortarless company. And without all that overhead expense, we can pay our agents way better in way many different ways. So going to be talking a lot about that today. eXp Solutions, that's all the training, the technology, the tools and systems that they give us agents. And again, those are plentiful and generally way more than any other brokerage is giving, again, because of the lack of brick and mortar expense. We can just invest that money in our agents instead of offices. Joining eXp is easy. The very last slide, I'll talk about that if you're interested. And again, if you're on this call today, I am not your sponsor unless I invited you to this call today. Otherwise, the person that invited you to this call, and they will be able to personalize this a little bit more. And since we have a small group today and we may get finished a little early, I may do some of that personalization just in a generality if time allows. Moving right along, this is our founder, Glenn Sanford. He started his internet real estate career, in 2002. Prior to that, he was in the internet business. He worked for AOL. He was also a stockbroker, real high-tech guy, consider him a genius. 4 years into the real estate, he was doing $60 million a year with his team. And he did it exclusively by connecting with consumers via the internet, building websites, driving traffic to those sites, turning those prospects into buyers and sellers. Now, a combination of that, and he worked for Keller Williams for a stint. He also had some independent brokerages. And quite frankly, in the last recession, he shut down those brick and mortar offices and decided there must be a better way. We're going to figure out how to do this without all that overhead expense. And that is what birthed eXp Realty in 2009. 2010, we were open in 11 states. Swanapo did a trends analysis report on us in 2011. Glenn was top 100 in the real estate space in 2012. 2013, he took the company public. Remember, I said he was a stockbroker, a lot of familiarity with doing that. We were traded on the over-the-counter market then. Literally, we used to be a penny stock. I'm going to come back to that in a minute. We launched in Canada in 2014. We created 2 programs I'm going to talk in detail about, the equity program and the Icon Agent Award programs in 2015. Tripled our agent count the very next year. 2017, late in the year is when I got the phone call. And I got to tell you, people, I was never leaving Remax. Super happy. I couldn't imagine anything better. Boy, was I wrong. But in December 2017, when I first saw this presentation, I thought it was too good to be true. You might too by the end of the day. But being the detail-oriented person that I was, I studied the model for 60 days. That also happened to coincide with the tail end of the no compete that I signed as a result of selling my Remax brokerage 3 years prior to that. So I studied the model until early 18, took the opportunity to my team in the Louisville market, and we unanimously voted to leave Remax, and our lives have been forever changed for the good as a result. Later in 2018, we hit 10,000 agents, and Glassdoor has named us a best place to work for the last 5 years in a row. The NASDAQ stock exchange took us on. We upgraded, uplisted is the term, to the NASDAQ, where we're not a penny stock anymore. I think today we were trading in the $12, $13, $14 range, per share range. We opened in the 50th state that year and won Inman's Innovator Award for Broker Owner of the Year. We are the fastest growing real estate company in the history of real estate companies. We hit 82,000 agents on June 6th. I think we're right about 83,000 plus right now. We're literally adding about 800 to 1,000 agents every week. Yes, I said week. Now, I left my graph on here from December 14th, 2020. This is now June. So about 18 months, we went from 40,000 to over 83,000 agents. That's the kind of growth this company's having. Core values. My prior life, I was in the IT business as well. I called on Fortune 500 clients all over the United States. And when I saw core values, they usually hung on the boardroom wall and weren't necessarily practiced in that company in reality. So that was my impression when I saw this. I said, yeah, that's probably, they say that, but they probably really don't practice it. But boy, was I wrong. I literally attended my first eXp shareholder meeting 2 weeks after joining the company, and I saw firsthand that all this was real. Now, all these values are very, very important, but my favorite one is collaboration, because it's the one that touches me every single day, multiple times per day. See, our culture is agents pour into one another because, as the tagline here says, we're all on the same field. What that means is I would do anything in the world for any eXp agent, period, because if I can help them win, the company wins. And when the company wins, all of us agent owners are winning. I haven't touched on that yet, but we are an agent-owned, publicly traded company. So very, very cool collaboration environment. I came from an environment where training was done by the best agent in the local office. Well, the problem with that is, A, the knowledge was local, not global. And that person doing the teaching knew they were training their competition. So we never got 100% from them because they knew they were training their competition at the end of the day, just more agents in their local office to compete with them and maybe take on their listing presentation or their expired program or what have you. Totally different at eXp. We all know that technology is changing everything. Netflix went to Blockbuster years ago, tried to partner with them. Blockbuster said, no, thanks. And today they're gone because of that decision. Amazon, this little bookseller on the internet's done the same thing to many retailers. Circuit City's just one of them. Walmart has closed 500 stores in the last 6 or 7 years. Sears is in bankruptcy. JCPenney's struggling. Toys R Us closed their last brick and mortar store late last year. They only now sell via the internet. A couple other examples I want to quickly mention: Uber and Lyft, tech companies, get you a cab in minutes. They are actually put the yellow cab taxi franchise in bankruptcy. And lastly, Airbnb, the largest hotelier in the world. They're a tech company. They don't own a single piece of real estate. eXp is a real estate tech company, virtual, operates online. We're putting a real hurting on the traditional real estate brokerages, especially those that think brick and mortar is so important because they have all that expense. We don't. We're one brokerage. We're not a franchise model. I used to own a RE/MAX franchise, as I said, and that franchise was very costly. My overhead required me to have an office, required me to have a warm body sitting at the front door for the walk-in they said would come that never seemed to. I was locally confined when it came to recruiting agents, because if an agent wanted to be a RE/MAX agent, they simply hung their license with the RE/MAX office closest to their home. So my ability to recruit agents was a 5 or 10 mile radius. Today, I have agents in my organization in 4 countries and in 21 of the United States. Quite different than 5 to 10 mile radius. So I'm not locally confined as an eXp agent. There's no way as a RE/MAX broker owner, or any broker owner for that matter, that they can provide the same type of growth incentives that we do in terms of helping, paying agents to help grow the company. And technology and support, there's no way I could have afforded the tech and the support and the training and all the resources in my local office that eXp provides all of us today at eXp. On our side of the chart here, we're a cloud campus environment, no desk fees, work literally from anywhere. We have over 80 hours a week of live interactive training. Key in on interactive there. I'm not talking about pushing play and watching something. I'm talking about going into a virtual classroom. You'll create an avatar that looks like yourself. You'll walk him or her in, sit his or her butt down in a seat. You can raise your hand and ask questions. You're going to talk to the instructor just like we could be talking right now with our mics on. You're going to get your questions answered, and you're going to hear the other students' questions and answers they get. That's the interactive part. First couple times, it's going to feel a little bit different because you got to learn how to sit down and stand up and walk and those crazy things. But after that, you're going to swear you were sitting in a physical classroom. The quality is the same. And the beauty of it is you're probably sitting in your home office. You might be drinking a cup of coffee, might even still be in your pajamas. You didn't get in your car, get all dressed up, drive across town, stress traffic, show up late, all that. We don't have to deal with any of that with 80 plus hours a week. Real-time support is provided to us by over 2,000 full-time employees at eXp World. We collaborate, as I said, now internationally with other agents, not just locally. So the knowledge base is just significantly different than what you'll find in a local office. And the equity opportunities, we're going to talk about our revenue share program and our stock equity programs here in just a few slides. Again, real-time support. It's provided 5 days a week from 9 to 8 Eastern, or whatever your time zone is, adjusted appropriately by over 2,000 employees. We collaborate internationally, as I mentioned. And the only thing I'm going to add to this, because I've kind of talked about that a lot because it is my favorite, I'm just going to add that I've been at eXp 4 years and 2 months. And in those 50 months, I've received more referrals from eXp agents in other cities and states than I did my entire 16 years prior in the other 2 brokerages I was affiliated with. And I'm pretty sure that's because of agent ownership. You see other agents want me to win, so they'll refer something to me, an eXp agent, because when I win, the company wins. When the company wins, they're winning. So again, it goes back to that collaboration and agents helping agents in our agent-owned company. We are in 21 countries. I'm not going to read them all to you. I will tell you those last few, Japan, Dubai, Poland, and Chile, are coming soon. Hopefully here by the end of this month. This is now June 2022, June or July. I think you'll see those open, which will take us to 25 countries. And I'll tell you, all 21 of those, except the US, the UK, Australia, and 3 of the Canadian provinces, everything else on this page, but except for the ones that are not yet open, we opened during a pandemic, and nobody got on an airplane to do it, to open an entire country. Okay, now we're going to switch. We're going to talk next about the 3 main ways we get compensated at eXp. There's actually 8 ways. I'm only going to talk about the top 3. First of all, we have a very fair and comparable commission plan. We have an 80-20 split. The agent keeps 80, 20 goes to the brokerage, 20% on every transaction until you've paid in $16,000 towards your cap. When you reach that cap, that means you've hit your ceiling. You don't split commissions with the brokerage for the remaining part of your anniversary year. What happens then? You get 100% commission split. At 100%, the company still needs to make a few dollars. So then and only then do they charge a $250 cap transaction fee. So you're going to get 100% of your split, less a $250 fee when you have a closing. Now, a little sneak peek on the Icon Award. If you close 20 transactions as an individual agent after capping, that's $250 times 20, $5,000 paid in cap transaction fees. The company will give you up to and including your entire $16,000 cap back in the form of public company stock. Now I'm going to sidebar here for just a second. eXp does not require a transaction fee be collected from the client. I do as a team leader for the Hollinden team in Louisville, Kentucky. So my agents and myself, we charge our client an admin fee of $250. So I actually keep a true 100% when I get to 100% split, because the $250 my client's paying eXp offsets the $250 cap transaction fee that I'm charged. I also make a profit on it because in the beginning of the year, when I'm at 80-20, I'm keeping 80% of the $250 as well as 80% of the commission. And lastly, after you win the Icon Award, that $250 cap transaction fee drops down to $75. Now I'm making a profit on it, the difference between the $250 the client's paying and the $75 of it I owe eXp. So personally, I make more than 100% commission split with eXp because I usually cap and I usually then Icon, getting my $16,000 back in total. Standard cost, $149 to join, and that's not throwaway money. You actually get something for it. That startup fee is your 1,000 business cards, 12 presentation folders, eXp name badge, and it pays your first month's $85 brokerage fee. Now, before you tune out on an $85 monthly brokerage fee, let me tell you, you get way more than $85 worth of value. We're going to get into those slides here briefly. When we close a transaction, $25 broker review fee. We do have brokers in every state. The number and quantity of brokers is dependent on the agent count and the number of transactions those agents are doing. So $25 broker review fee goes towards paying those salaries. And lastly, E&O, or risk management as it's titled here, is $40 per transaction, but that caps at $500 per year. Now, most brokerages have a $1 million policy. This policy is a $5 million policy. I love that the company's done this because the little guy or gal that just got their license, they don't have to buy E&O insurance when they get their license before they even sell anything. When a new agent comes to eXp, they have E&O insurance. They just don't have to start paying for it until they start closing transactions. It just makes sense. Now, $40 a deal, $500 cap, that's 12 and a half transactions in a year. So after 12 and a half, that $40 transaction fee goes away. So in summary, $149 to join, $85 a month, $25 a deal, $40 a deal, but the 40 stops at $500 in your anniversary year. That's the first way we get paid. Second way we get paid is with stock. If you're doing the same thing you're doing at your current brokerage, you're going to get paid multiple ways. Now, before I talk about stock, again, our symbol is EXPI, traded on the NASDAQ. I want you to know that the public company is actually called eXp World Holdings, Inc. That's the company us agents own. That company owns eXp Realty, eXp Commercial, Virbela, the maker of our virtual world. We own them. We bought them in 2018. And COVID has done a real positive number on Virbela because there's hundreds and hundreds of clients that have closed their physical offices as a result of COVID because they figured out they can deal without a physical brick and mortar office. They can operate completely online. So that's just a couple of examples. There's other ancillary companies we own too that I won't get into that. 5 ways you can accumulate stock in eXp as an agent. First of all, every year when you close your first transaction, you are going to get a $200 stock award. Every year when you cap, you get a $400 stock award. When you sponsor a new agent into the company, in other words, you'd invite them to look at this presentation on a webinar, maybe do a personal one-on-one presentation. When they join and close their first deal, you get a $400 stock award. The Icon Award we've already talked about. Reach your cap, pay in $5,000 in cap transaction fees. Said another way, if you're an individual agent, 250 times 20 closings, you get a $16,000 stock bonus. This alone has changed my life. My $16,000 Icon stock award in 2018, when our stock was worth $3.80, is now roughly 4 times more valuable than it was, about $64,000. Really cool. Now, these 4 bullet points here are awards. They come with a 3-year vesting period, which is not unlike any major corporation 401k or profit sharing plan. You have to vest fully before that stock is 100% yours. Same thing here. The agent equity program is optional. You do not have to participate in this, and this has no vesting period. I kind of like it because it's akin to buying $10 bills for $9 a piece. And the way it works, you can take 5% of every commission check and buy stock with it at a 10% discount. No vesting, you can turn right around and sell that stock the next week. The way that works, 5% goes into your account from every commission check. And at the end of the month, on the last stock trading day of the month, they take whatever's in that account and buy stock for you with that money at a 10% discount. That's immediate equity. Like I said, $10 bills are being bought for $9 a piece, kind of a no-brainer. So that's the second way we get paid. Third way we get paid, and this is optional too. This is for agents interested in growing the company through the attraction of other agents to the company. This is our revenue sharing plan. There's another company out there that has a profit sharing plan. Let me tell you, I'd rather be paid off the top than the bottom because there's no guarantee there will be a profit there. In this company, eXp pays 50% of the revenue back to the agents every single month that are growing the company, and they're managing the company's balance sheet and P&L statement with the other 50%. And as a public company, we are the only public company that can say this, that's a real estate company. We are profitable. We have no debt on the balance sheet. And the last quarterly report I saw had over $115 million in cash in the bank. I was looking at the stock market the other day and looking at all our competitor companies that are public. They all have debt. Every single one of them. Didn't see one that didn't have debt. And some of them are in the billions with a B. Very financially stable entity. Here's how revenue share plan works. When you bring an agent to eXp, you sponsor them. They go on what's called your tier 1. This is a level system, 7 levels, 7 tiers, whatever you want to call it. You start receiving 3.5% of their gross commission income until they reach their cap. Because after they cap, they're at 100% commission split too, so there's no more revenue to share. Now, 3.5%, it comes out of the 20% they paid the company, not the 80% on their 80-20 split that they keep. It's calculated on the gross commission, but it's paid from the company's 20%. 3.5%. So if you have a capping agent that you've brought to eXp Realty, you can make $2,800 per agent per year from your tier 1. And that $2,800 comes from an agent that caps paying in $16,000 to the company, because that $16,000 at 20% to the company represented $80,000 in gross commission income. $80,000 times 3.5 is where I get the $2,800. Now, if you recruit 5 or more agents and put them on your tier 1, that unlocks the second tier. That's what that 5 to 9. This is 5 or more. You can have any number of agents on your tier 1, get 3.5% of their gross from every one of them. But if you have 5 or more, that unlocks second tier. And the second tier pays you 4%, which is a maximum of $3,200 per agent per year. I love this. This is your incentive. You get paid more on your level 2 than your level 1. So you have a built-in 4% incentive to help your level 1 agents attract agents to their level 1, which go on your level 2. So the agents you sponsor go on 1. When they sponsor agents, they go on your level 2, and so on. This goes 7 levels deep to 5% on tier 7 if you have 40 or more agents on your tier 1. Now you'll notice this word called qualifying up here. This is here because we couldn't just go out and tell all of our cousins to get their real estate license to come to eXp. And I got 40 cousins, so that's going to unlock 7 tiers, right? No, that's not right. They have to qualify. Well, we're sharing revenue, so they have to have revenue to share in order to share, right? So qualifying agent, this is almost laughable though. It's only $5,000 in commission in a rolling 6-month period. Most real estate agents that are half serious about the business are going to do more than $10,000 in gross commissions in a 12-month period. So that's how that works. We may come back to this a little bit later, but that's revenue sharing. That's the third way we get paid. There's at least 5 other ways that we're not going to go over today. Talk to your sponsor about those. They'll be happy to share those with you as well. But I wanted to talk about the big 3. The rest is about world and about all the things we get for our mere $85 a month. First of all, here's what eXp World looks like. When you walk into the world, there's an information desk and there's an avatar standing behind it. And it's a man in this case. His name is over his head. Our names are always above us so people know who they're talking to. Those 2,000 employees are in 12 or 15 different specialized departments. This right-hand screen here, large scale meetings. This is a bunch of avatars sitting in one of our auditoriums taking a class. That's the stage perspective looking at the audience. And you can see every avatar looks different. You can control your skin tone, your skin color, your hairstyle, glasses, no glasses, facial hair, et cetera, all the way down to clothing and jewelry. Daily training rooms, team collaboration rooms. And this picture here is information sharing, the title. That's there to show you privacy. Anytime you see a blue line on the floor in eXp World, that's a private area. So when you sit down at this table, in this case, have a conversation or a meeting inside that blue circle, you're not distracted by avatars walking past the table, talking as they walk to their table, and they can't hear what's going on in your circle. You have to be in the circle to hear what's going on. Now, this next slide is a reason in and of itself why many agents are joining eXp. And that's because we offer a discounted group medical healthcare program for independent contractor 1099 agents. I don't think that's ever been done before. If you're interested in that, no obligation, go to expagенthealthcare.com. I've heard that the average agent is saving $7,000 to $8,000 a year on their healthcare coverage. And that is an agent that has a dependent spouse and a spouse and dependents. Excuse me, lost my train of thought. Somebody raised a hand and it shook me up a minute there. I'll get to questions here in a second, Tara. eXp Solutions, Enterprise. Everything we have is in one business intelligence platform called Enterprise. We use SkySlope as our transaction management system. That's like Dotloop, only I personally prefer it over Dotloop. SkySlope also includes our digital signing service called DigiSign. We have a collaboration platform that runs on the Facebook community for eXp agents only. Workplace by Facebook. It's like Facebook for businesses. This is a place where you can use it just like your Facebook. You can join the different groups. You can post pictures and videos and so forth. And everybody collaborates in there quite nicely. CRM and lead generation, that we have a system called KV Core. And here's where I want to impact on the $85 monthly fee. This is included. KV Core is your individual agent website. It is your CRM to manage all of your leads, and it is a lead generating machine in and of itself. Now, my agents on my Louisville team, my Louisville sales team, those that are using KV Core like they were trained to use it are generating 15 to 20 leads a week. Very, very powerful lead generating system. So if you're ready to take your business from here to here, this is a product can do it. And coming back to the fee side of it, this doesn't cost you anything more. Your $85 monthly fee covers it. You could stay at your current brokerage. You could buy KV Core yourself. It would cost you right around $1,500 to get it set up, and then $500 a month to actually use it each month. So very, very powerful tool that's helping agents sell a lot more homes at eXp Realty. Branding and marketing, we have around 5,000 marketing pieces that you can use in your daily business. Enterprise is also where you will have your agent details stored. Going to have a little bio about yourself, a picture. So when I'm looking to refer an agent at eXp, some business in another city and state, I can review who covers that area. And you can see your commissions and your capping status. You can review all of your stock awards, which, by the way, all that's managed by Morgan Stanley. So one of the prominent stock brokerage companies in the world. And you get real-time performance reports out of your enterprise and SkySlope systems on your actives, pendings, and solds. SkySlope runs on any device. You can do digital signatures. And of course, it's encrypted with top-level security. Here's a little screenshot of the workplace Facebook environment. I'll tell you too, if you miss a class you wanted to attend live, we do record everything and put it in our workplace platform in the eXp University library. So you can always go back and push play on something and watch it if you missed out because you were out showing property or listing a home. Here's a screen of KV Core. This is just a search that was built. And by the way, KV Core will via IDX interface with your MLS. KV Core, in this case, this is a search built where, and I'm going to give you just one quick example. There's tons of ways to generate leads with KV Core, but the example I'm going to do for you today is this. I'm going to tell it, go into the MLS, pull out all the lakefront properties at Nolin Lake that are at least 3 beds and 2 baths, minimum square footage of 2,000 square feet, and are priced between $400,000 and $500,000. KV Core will bundle those up for you. You can push that out to all your social media platforms. And then when somebody clicks on that search that you've labeled, free information, lakefront properties at Nolin, 400 to 500 in value, they'll click on that, people that are interested in lakefront properties there. And they're brought back to your website where the system collects their name, their address, and phone number. As a good buyer's agent, you're going to call that client immediately, hopefully, and develop some rapport and talk to them, make sure the search is about what they're looking for and see what their situation is. Do they have a house to sell before they buy? Or are you paying cash, or would you like me to help you save money on your next mortgage? Those sorts of conversations. I'm going to hang up the phone when we're done. We're going to tell KV Core, remind me to call them back in 2 days or 10 days or whatever you felt was appropriate. Well, between now and when you call them back, KV Core watches everything they do. And KV Core understands what we all understand, and that is buyers are liars. They never buy what they say they wanted when you first met them. So KV Core understands this. So it watches everything they do, and it starts sending them properties like what they're looking at instead of just like what they told you they wanted. This is all done through an artificial intelligence algorithm, and that's just one of the powerful tools that we have. Another quick example, if they go back to the same property over and over and over, KV Core is going to send them a text message or an email from you saying, hey, I saw you might have some interest in 123 Main Street. Would you like to go ahead and schedule a showing? Lots and lots of tools to make your selling life easier and hopefully more profitable. Here's just some examples of some of the branding, and we're rounding the corner here, and then we'll get to questions. Business cards, brochures, signage. We did a listing presentation competition a few years back. There's like 300 listing presentations that you can choose from. Download these things, put your information on it, print them out, use them in your business, turn them into a PowerPoint, use them on your tablet, what have you. These are companies, media companies that follow real estate companies. They all have positive things to say about us, and several of them are even referring to us as the Amazon of real estate. Production matters at eXp. We were top 7 in all these categories a couple of years ago. Those rankings are even higher today. This is kind of old data. I'm still looking forward to getting the newer slide on that. And lastly, I referenced a career site and ability to join. If you're interested in joining, go back to the person that invited you to this webinar. It's going to be their first name and last name, .exprealty.careers. The syntax is almost always that. If not, they'll tell you exactly what it is. But that career site is a site we all get at eXp as well, and that's done for agent attraction. I'll emphasize again, agent attraction is not a requirement. I always refer to my daughter who loves to attract, my son who doesn't love to attract, yet my son has attracted agents to eXp because people have called him because he was negotiating cross sales with some agents, and they were checking us out on his career site and called him one day and said, hey, how do you like an eXp? He's like, I think it's great. Why do you ask? Well, I've been looking at your career site, they say, and I like what I'm seeing. I'd love to get together and talk further. So this is kind of a subliminal little recruiting tool. Just if you put it in your email signature, other agents and other people that you communicate with are going to see it. So that concludes the final slide. I'm going to stop the share, see what questions we have, and then perhaps if we have a few more minutes, do a little personalization. So 1 second. You had questions? Well, let me do this. Let me go ahead and I'm going to do a real simple little broker comparison. Let me share another screen. This is just a little Excel sheet that myself and another individual built that is designed to compare the brokerage you're currently with on the left side and what life would look like at eXp. And I just put a little simple thing in here, an agent that sells 30 deals a year. This is an example. We can put a simpler one and a more elaborate one. Doesn't really matter to me. The numbers are all going to be what they'll be, but 30 transactions, $200,000 average sales price. So this agent does about 6 million a year. Their average market commission is 3%. So they're grossing about $180,000. Now I put an 80-20 split. So they're paying their brokerage 20%. There's one company I know of that's got a $95 monthly office fee. They also have a cap that's about $32,000. Some of you know who I'm talking about. They have two caps, one regular cap and then a corporate cap of another $3. They're usually in the high to mid 20s plus the other $3. So let's make that 28 instead of 32. Keep it a little closer. And then no broker review fee, no cap transaction fee, annual miscellaneous fees. Don't know about those. So in this example, 80-20 split with a $28,000 annual cap with a $95 monthly fee, that agent is taking home about $151,000. Exact same sales at eXp. It requires 13.33 deals to cap. So there's about 17 deals, I guess, that they're selling here at 100%. Our cap at eXp is 16,000, 80-20 split. So the difference here is that same adjustment, just like we've got here. We had a 28,000 paid to the broker, or 36 paid to the brokerage, but it capped at 28, so an $8,000 credit. 36 paid to the brokerage here, $16,000 cap, so a $20,000 credit. So all these numbers are equaling the cap amount. We have $85 a month times 12. There's your $1,020 a year. After you get to 100%, in this scenario, there's a $250 cap transaction fee. And I'm going to stop right here in sidebar. Remember, if you do like I do with my clients and charge them a $250 admin fee, then this would fall straight to your bottom line, making that well over $160,000 instead of a $157,980, because your $250 you collect from your client could offset the $250 that you pay eXp in a cap transaction fee. We didn't do 20 or more closings after capping, so there's no reduction down to the $75 icon reduced cap transaction fee. And we pay $25 times 30, that's $750 for broker review fees. Total expenses at eXp, $22,000 instead of $29,000. You kept $158 instead of $151. A little bit better, but that's only the commission. Let's come back over here. I have no numbers in here that's going to include your $200 a year stock award when you close your first deal. No numbers for $400 per agent stock award for each agent that you attract to the business. And I don't have $400 in here when you reach your cap, which obviously this person did in this scenario. So all this would be additive to the $157,980 that you see here. Now, just to show you how the icon program works, we needed, let's see, 33 1/3. So I'm just going to make this 34 transactions. If this agent sold 34 transactions instead of 30, probably wouldn't be too hard to go from 30 to 34. That pulls in the $16,000 stock award because they paid in $250 20 times. There's the 5,000. And again, that would go away if you charge that to your client. Now your difference at eXp with the 181 and the 16 is $22,000 more than this. Revenue sharing is another potential income stream. You remember I said for every capping agent that you bring to your tier one, you're going to get $2,800 per capping agent per year, $3,200 on your second level, and so on, all the way down to $4,000. You unlock lower levels by attracting more people on your first level that qualify. Again, a reminder, qualifying was $5,000 in gross commissions every 6 months. And then lastly, I'm going to do a real simple revenue share calculator. I'm going to give you the disclaimer first. These are estimated scenarios that may be possible. Income and revenue are not guaranteed. If you work it, it works. If you don't, it doesn't. I'm just going to show you here a simple example. Let's say you brought 5 agents to eXp over the next 5 years, just one simple agent per year. And let's say that we helped those 5 agents each bring only 1 agent. Super, super, super conservative. I've done significantly more than this, and a lot of agents at eXp have, but I want to keep this really kind of on the low end. So 5 agents on your level 1, 5 who each attract 1 on your level 2, or 5 agents on your level 2. This formula assumes they're all capping. I'm going to change that, make it more conservative here in a second. But if you focused on attracting capping agents, this is going to be close to your reality. Extra $30,000 a year in residual revenue sharing income. And this is willable on your death to someone else. That person needs a real estate license, or they'll be given 12 months to get a real estate license after your death. This really, and from my case, I feel like I've now created a legacy for generational wealth for generations to come in my family. So coming back now to the comparison, now we've got an extra 30,000 in here. This number just keeps getting bigger. So obviously you get out of all this what you put into it. But that sort of concludes the question, or concludes the presentation. I will take some questions now if anybody has any, and then we'll wrap it up. I see our guest that left hasn't made it back yet, so make sure we'll get Shauna the recording. And Nathan, do you have any questions? Tara, any questions? Anything you want me to go deeper on or elaborate on?
What's it take to become an icon agent? Capping plus
technically it's reaching your cap and then paying $5,000 in capped transaction fees. And I say it that way because if you're an individual agent, you're not splitting any commissions or don't have a team or anything, you're going to pay $250 per transaction 20 times to get to that 5,000. If you're a team leader, or if you're on a team, you might split all those deals. So it would take more transactions in that scenario, because they'll charge you the cap transaction fee based on the split that you're splitting with the other agent, if there's another agent involved. But the simple answer is 20 transactions after capping if you don't split any commissions with anyone else. Good question. Anything else? All right. Well, guys, thanks for being here. Thanks for your attention, and go back to the person that invited you here if you have further questions, and I hope everyone has an awesome day. Thanks again.
Thanks, James.